Hello, everybody, and welcome to this latest Haikon Fireside chat. I'm Simon Lewis, and I'm delighted to have to share the stage today, or the virtual fireplace, with Jordan Patterson, who is the VP, of Administration at Virtual Packaging. Hello, Jordan. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, thank you for allowing me the chance to join you.
It's a pleasure. I look forward to our conversation. Jordan and I will be discussing a series of topics, at the end of which, if you have any questions, we'll be delighted to take them. The mechanism is that you enter your question into the Q&A box that you see when you press on the Q&A at the bottom of the screen. It's not a voice Q&A, it's textual Q&A. We'll see those questions and we'll be able to answer them. And I think that addresses what we're going to be doing, and we're going to dive straight in. So again, Jordan, thank you for joining us. Please tell us about virtual packaging, your history, what you do, and so on.
Okay, well, we bought the company in 2004. It was just a handful of associates at that time. We specialized in prototypes, mock-ups, and all sorts of packaging. That was bags, shrinks, labels, dry transfers, boxes. And for a long time, we just focused on prototypes. And we're a fully digital center. We don't have any traditional equipment. And for a long time, we wanted to get into longer runs. So how all of this began was we'd have, your average customer would come to us, they'd want a prototype for, maybe a new R&D project. And then once they settle on the prototype they'd like, they'd order some sales samples. This could be for focus groups, this could be for planograms, this could be sent to stores to figure out shelf spacing. And then we'd have those customers come back to us saying, oh, we just made it into Costco, or we made it into Target. This is awesome. You've done such a great job for us. Now we want 400,000 pieces. And everything here is made by hand. So unfortunately, we'd have to turn them down on that offer. But what we were waiting on before we entered that space was a digital platform. We wanted digital long run capabilities. And honestly, there wasn't anything. Everything that was digital seemed to be more of a label press. And so in 2019, we bought a Haikon beam and we bought a Lambda S10, which allowed us the ability to do full run production completely digitally. And so it opened a whole new industry for us. And so it's been a fun time venturing into the unknown, but we're getting better every day.
Well, that's great. It's a very unusual history, which makes it all the more interesting. So just to be clear, you don't have a conventional die cutter?
We do not.
You do have some CAD tables because you need those for prototyping.
Yeah, the CAD tables, they run a lot, but it's really just, we've gotten to the point now where we use them in line with the Haikon, meaning if it's, 30, 40 sheets, let's go ahead and cut them on the CAD tables. If it's 100, 200, 300 sheets, that's Haikon all day. And I mean, we can even go up to, 20, 30, 40,000 sheets. So our limitations have been expanded.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, Jordan, some of your customers are brands who are ordering from you, but you also have trade customers who are handling orders that are too small to be interesting for them. Can you talk a little bit about the split, the kind of customers you serve, and the run lengths you're doing for those other suppliers?
Yeah, for the trade customers, it's a benefit for both of us. Those smaller run jobs, they're really easy for us to do. There's times, just last week we did 8 jobs in 1 hour. But there might be 500 to 1,000 pieces. And to stop a press at a trade customer that's running millions of pieces, 500,000 pieces, to throw on a 2,000 piece job and all the tooling and everything that goes into that, it just doesn't make sense. And so a lot of those people have been reaching out to us because what we can do is we can nest up 7, 8, 9 jobs, print it, cut it, and it just comes down to shipping at that point. And so, yeah, for the trade customers, it's helped kind of ease their burden, keep their customers happy. And then, we'll also blind ship it to their customer. So our name's not on it. It's just purely to make sure that their customers are happy.
And from their perspective, then, they're assuming that what you produce on the Lander and the Haikon is, to all intents and purposes, identical to what they would have produced on offset lithography and Bobst.
Yeah, and we do go through a process where we get with that trade customer, give us some samples, we'll make them and send them to you just to make sure it meets your quality standard. Because, in business, your name means a lot and it stands for something. And you've spent all these years developing it. We don't want to have any part in tarnishing it. We just want to make sure we can help you even better it.
So what kind of run lengths are you doing? You're just spoken about some pretty short runs. What's the kind of range of run length that these traditional converters are handing off to you, to the upstart?
So they vary. A lot of them, I'd say your average is probably 500 pieces to 8,000 pieces. That's pieces, not sheets. I mean, it could be with like CVD, for instance. We can fit 20 to 30 boxes on a sheet. So 3,000 CVD boxes, I mean, you're talking 100 sheets. And when we're looking at some of the other trade companies, for instance, our biggest job, the one we just got about a month ago, was 250,000 sheets that they handed off to us. So yeah, that was a fun job. It was our biggest job by far, but our team we adapt well and we were able to handle it pretty easily.
And your classic brand customers, is there anything that characterizes them?
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
Well, you're doing for direct fulfillment for some of your customers who started from prototyping and they've grown up. Yes. Are you working for, are they well-known companies? Do they tend to be more smaller companies that started small and are growing? Are there any characteristics of that group of customers?
Yes. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah. So I mean, we work with your mom and pops, somebody who just came up with a cool product, a new cookie in their kitchen, and they're venturing in. They want to go into Walmart. Like, we'll actually hold their hand, teach them about packaging, work through them, work with die lines, work with whatever it may be to get that package going. But we're also working with Fortune 500 companies. I mean, some of the biggest companies here in America. We have, due to the complexity of the prototyping, there's a lot of NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, that we have in place. So we don't talk too much about our customers, but we talk more about the ones that are on the long run side, because those products are going straight to a store.
Yep. And I didn't ask you the names. I'm just trying to get characteristics, because I'm very well aware of the sensitivity of these things.
Yes.
Looking at the market, the world, what are the trends that you're seeing? Obviously, we're still going through a pandemic, which probably is also one of the trends, but generally, how are you looking at the market? And you've been in this game now for a couple of years since you moved on from being a pure prototyping shop. How's the world changing?
So the world, in terms of packaging, it's a very unique story. About 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we'd have companies coming to us with a box, and their artwork is for a box. It's laid out, to make a folding carton, and they'd come to us and say, make this into a stand-up pouch for me, because a stand-up pouch is, significantly cheaper than boxes. And so we did that for a while. Well, in the last 2 to 3 years, we have people coming to us, here's my bag. We want to be eco-friendly. We want to make sure we're recycling and that our product is viewed as, I can recycle this box after I'm done. Make it into a box for me. And I mean, people are taking the stance that even though it's a little bit more expensive, they're able to, recycle, be more sustainable. And it is changing. And it's also why we went this route versus a flexible packaging route. We saw the industry changing, and people are willing to even spend more on their packaging with embellishments. And not everything is just a simple package anymore. You want to stand out on the shelf.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and specifically COVID, has that made any changes for you?
COVID, I think it changed everybody. Yeah, we've had to learn, we've had to adapt. I mean, we went through a time where we didn't have more than 5 people in the building at a time, and we had 5 people in from midnight to 8 a.m., 5 people in from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m., and it was just a rolling shift. But with business wise, it's actually increased on the long run side. We've seen it grow. It's been exciting. You know, e-commerce kind of took off through the pandemic. I think more people stuck at home, and we actually have some trade customers that are e-commerce based that for those small runs they want to offer their customers, we're the one place they know they can go to get them.
Okay, thank you. So let's move on now to Haikon. You said you bought a beam and you bought it a couple of years ago. Why did you buy the Haikon?
We needed some. It started off with Landa. We wanted to get a wide format digital press. And then after we figured out what press we were going to get, we needed a finishing. And there's nothing out there. There really isn't. The beam was the only machine for us. And it's honestly like the two machines were made to work together. And, I was talking with you guys and your team, and I mean, you guys were here all the time, and, we had a lot of great conversations, and it honestly became friends. Like, we enjoyed when Haikon came into town, and I know it wasn't an easy trip. You're flying from Israel, but I mean, it was always good to see you guys. Our whole staff enjoyed seeing you guys. So, I mean, it made it an easy choice.
Okay. And in the decision process, just describe the decision process. I mean, you say it's obvious. At the same time, you have to satisfy yourself it's going to be able to do what you want it to do. So were there any key steps in that process?
Yeah. So, we're printing at 6,500 sheets an hour. And we also have small runs. So, I mean, you're talking, 500 sheets, 1,000 sheets, 2,000 sheet jobs. And we needed something where make ready wasn't going to be 2-3 days out to get a die. I mean, you're talking 10 minutes on the beam and maybe 4 or 5 sheets to get registration down. And we needed something that had the speed as well as the availability, like something that we could get a die made now. We could run 20 sheets, 100 sheets, and then we could change out that die, wait 10 minutes to cure, and run the next job. And we also needed the B1 format, which, you guys were the only ones, or probably still are the only ones that had that capability at that speed, because if we didn't, we'd probably have 50 CAD tables running all day. And that's just not economical.
No. Okay. And here we are 2 years later. Are you satisfied with the Haikon, and why?
We're very satisfied with the Haikon. We're very unconventional. We'll find a way to make just about anything our customer asks. And your R&D team probably knows this pretty well. Whenever we have a unique project, every other week I had a call with you guys for the first couple of years to just test new ideas. And, Alex on your team is a great guy. And if we ever had any issues, it was, let's pick up the phone and call Highcon R&D and let's see if we can make business cards better, if we can make this box better, if we can make this perforation better. It was honestly like you guys were on our team helping us create new products for our customers. So yeah, we very satisfied with our decision to partner with Haikon.
Very glad to hear it. How do you see the Haikon evolving over time in your business? Does it meet your needs looking ahead, or?
It does. I mean, we are going to scale up. We started this as a startup, basically. We had no customers that did long runs with us. We were offering it to our prototyping customers. And, it was taking off. Honestly, I think we're going to have to need another Haikon. We're kind of in the debate of, is it going to be a beam or is it going to be a beam C? Because corrugate's starting to take off. I mean, corrugate's a huge industry, and we get requests for it daily. And, when it comes to running smaller jobs, it might be that we have one that's running larger jobs, just so we have that changeover very quickly, and you can have one operator on one and one or two on the other if you're having high changeover.
Okay. Is there something that you know now that you wish you'd known earlier about us, about Haikon, about the capabilities?
Not really. I mean, it was a very smooth process. I mean, you guys installed in a week. Um, the hardest part was getting a chiller. I mean, it had nothing to do with you guys. After I got the chiller, everything was really easy. But
Mm-hmm.
no, it, everything was pretty plain and simple. Everything was laid out and tested, and it made the decision easy.
Great. And um, as a vendor, you've spoken about the interface with R&D, the local support in North America. That's okay as well.
Yeah, there. Raphael is our primary
Engineer.
operator. Yes,
Oh,
and he's talking to Avi and all your staff. I mean, he has WhatsApp now because they basically text message each other all week and for ideas or we got a new job or you guys are just checking in. How's everything going? Do you need anything? And so it's been great. The support has been terrific.
okay. What kind of turnaround, we're going to look at a series of issues about your business and the market and so on. What kind of turnaround time are you offering your customers?
So our standard turnaround is 10 days. It just makes it easy for us, but we offer up to same day. I mean, it's our very first job was a customer that was freaking out because they were shorted from China at 4,000 boxes and Walmart wasn't going to put them in their store unless they gave them a whole order. And they called us it was like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. We had just got the COI on both our machines. So this was a very new job to us. 4,000 boxes. We were a little intimidated, but we got them all printed. We got them cut. We got them put through the folder and gluer and boxed up in just about 4 hours and shipped it out that day, sent it to our customer, and they were shocked. We were shocked, but I mean, they were very shocked. I mean, we've done that on prototypes. We have never done it on long runs until that moment.
Well, that's an amazing story. How often do things like that, doesn't have to be quite so extreme, but very rapid turnarounds like that happen?
Honestly, we have a trade customer that has us quote them a 3-day term on every job. They said if it's too expensive, then we'll back off a few days, maybe make it 6 days. But they like our 3-day price and they want us to quote everything initially as a 3-day job. But we have it set up for every day would be an increment of increase because it's pushing other jobs back a day or when they're going to print. But it happens pretty frequently. We have a lot of rush jobs.
And that's part of your DNA, I guess. It's not like you're having to change an established process. You're not trying to overcome lead times for things like dies. You've got a digital infrastructure, so it's a question of self-management.
Yeah, and when we added this department on the virtual packaging, the mock-up side, our standard turn was always 3-day. We had 48-hour, 24-hour, and same day as well. So our staff was used to it. And then we use that same staff and train them for this long run side. And so them getting 10 days over there is sheerly because of the amount, the large amount for, freight, packaging, everything. So they're used to being able to do things very quickly. That's 3 days, 2 days. And so that was the nature of this business before we even got into the longer runs. So we were prepared for it.
Okay. What about sustainability? How are you seeing sustainability play out in the market? How does it influence you?
We get a lot of people coming to us because of sustainability. We are a digital workshop. We don't have a ton of waste. Most of what we do produce and waste is recycled. People are starting to work with companies that are more sustainable. They want their products to also be sustainable, and they want to show and they want to market. It's a new form of marketing. It's not something that has been really forced onto the public until the last couple of years. You know, a company that's taking its efforts to make sure that they have the lowest carbon footprint possible, even down to the packaging. I mean, it speaks something for what that company believes in.
Right. E-commerce. How does e-commerce play out for you?
I mean, I'm sure everybody who's going to see this or is watching now knows e-commerce is booming. I mean, the amount of trucks dropping off packages at your door, your neighbor's door, it's all day, every day. We see everyone's been used to seeing these trucks. I mean, it is what it is, but it is growing, and we're getting, like I said earlier, with trade customers, you know, these e-commerce platforms. Some of them don't have the capabilities to do smaller runs, and some of them don't have the capabilities to do even larger runs. I mean, we fit the mold for both, and we've been helping, you know, larger e-commerce companies do the small runs. We've been helping smaller e-commerce companies do the large runs, and it's constant change. And I think e-commerce, it's here to stay. People like the ease of being able to sit at home 8 o'clock at night, drinking a glass of wine, placing an order, and not having to contact people. And a lot of the time they get to see that artwork on that website before they even place the order. So they know what they're going to get at the end too. So it's just been a lot easier, a lot faster than in traditional means.
And presumably some of your customers are kind of working like that with you, that it's kind of an all digital process.
Yeah. And, you know, with time is money and inventory is money. And cash flow gets strapped up when you're placing orders for 500,000 boxes that you're going to use this year. If you can order, you know, 100,000 boxes every few months just to fulfill your orders, you save space, you save cash flow. So, I mean, shrinking these order sizes for larger companies or increasing order sizes for small companies, you know, you're getting to a price point where everyone can live with and everyone's happy.
So in fact, you've just touched on essentially supply chain simplification or supply chain reinvention, right?
Didn't mean to get
okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's just we have a few companies that are actually using their packaging now to promote other packaging or other products that they're launching. You know, maybe I'm going to put a coupon code inside my box to promote this new product I'm going to launch next month. And I can get somebody to start buying into my new product. Well, maybe 2 months from now, I want to change that coupon code to another new product or to a different product that's already been established. It's allowing customers the ease to change their packaging without having to make sure they run through everything they've already ordered because they've already paid for it. So it allows changing and frequent changes. And I mean, it allows people to even go seasonal on products that aren't seasonal. I mean, you know, the large CPG companies, you know, Frito-Lay, General Mills, Kellogg's, they do a great job with their bags, you know, football season, Halloween, but some of the smaller companies don't have those availability options. So now some of them will.
Right. I guess that connects also to packaging innovation. Do you feel that your customers are taking advantage of the fact that you're all digital to be more innovative in their packaging, to try out things that perhaps they wouldn't have done previously?
Oh, 100%. As soon as you get one of them in the building and they walk into that room, and it looks like it's from outer space. I mean, the beam is, I mean, it looks like a little spaceship. And so, I mean, they start thinking, they're seeing these samples, they're seeing these perforations that are perfectly, I guess, cut out. And you can just see it in their heads that everything is just spinning, and they're coming up with new ideas, just being there, seeing the samples, seeing the machine run. It allows a whole new opportunity. And a lot of those customers have come up with very unique packaging. And, you know, even for POP displays, end-aisle displays, they're having more success with their packages not ripping. You know, some of those perforations aren't always perfect. And that's your brand. That's you inside the store. And people are taking account that, you know, we want it to look great every time. So yeah, it's definitely taken off.
Okay. Looking ahead, what are your aspirations for virtual packaging?
I'd love to have multiple facilities. I'd love to service even more customers, make them happy, fill out all the needs they need packaging wise. Eventually, get into some print material possibly, but for right now, it's mainly focused on packaging.
And do you assume that you'll always be digital? There's no place for analog in your future?
I don't see it yet. I mean, right now, I think digital is, it's getting better every year. And unfortunately, we didn't have Drupa last year due to the pandemic, but I'm sure the next Drupa, it's going to be even bigger. Faster, larger machines, even higher capable machines. You guys are always working on stuff. I'm sure you guys are going to come out with something crazy for the next Drupa. So it's, digital print, digital finishing, 10 years ago to today is completely changed. It is a whole new world, a whole new industry. And you guys are getting closer and closer to competing on everything. And so, I don't see it ever slowing down. I think we're just going to keep investing in digital products.
Right. I tend to agree with you. So do you think there are any key market trends that you're going to see emerging over the next couple of years?
I think orders are going to get smaller. I think people are going to start processing smaller orders. I don't think there's going to be, your standard products, your soft drinks, your potato chips. Those are always going to be million-piece runs. But I think a lot of CPG companies are going to start ordering 20,000 pieces, 15,000 pieces, 10,000 pieces, where they don't have to have a warehouse filled with packaging. They can just rely on a company to send it to them. The first week of every month, we're going to get our packaging for that month. We've even had companies start doing that with us. We've been calling it just-in-time inventory. It kind of play on words because it's not really inventory, but you get it just in time and you're ready to go.
That's certainly, in my mind, an exciting and important trend. It aligns with everything that the world talks about: preserving cash, saving space. It eliminates waste and obsolescence, so it's more sustainable. And when you can offer the kind of cost structures that you offer, you don't need to work the way that we used to work.
Yeah, and that's what COVID's taught us. No one works the way they used to work. Everything has changed. Everybody's open to change. People are turning their homes into their workplaces. You don't have warehouses. You don't have that space to store your inventory. If you're a mom and pop shop starting up, do you want to fill a whole bedroom with packaging? Probably not, but you can. It's exciting.
Right. Is there anything that I've missed that you'd like to share with us? Have we covered it?
We've covered most of it. It's been a wonderful journey with you guys. We've appreciated the partnership. We're excited for our next machine. You guys say everything that you can do, and you do it, and we appreciate it.
Well, it's fantastic working with customers like you who are constantly ensuring that we raise our game, because you have fair but high demands. This is a critical linchpin in your business. Most of our customers have other ways of doing the things they need to do. You've put your business in our hands, and we appreciate the trust, and we do everything that we can to be worthy of that.
Oh yeah, well, you definitely have earned it.
Thank you, Jordan. Audience out there, if you have any questions, this is the moment now to put them in the text box, since Jordan and I have concluded our basic fireside chat. We'll give it a moment or two to see if anybody asks any questions. Otherwise, we'll wrap it up. Nothing there yet. Jordan, this has been really a pleasure. Thank you very much. I'm just kind of waiting a little bit to see if there is anything else coming, but it doesn't look like it. So I'm going to actually share my screen with the thank you slide. The thank you slide is an opportunity not just to thank you, Jordan, but to ask anybody out there if they are not on our mailing list and would like to receive our monthly newsletter, you can scan the QR code. And right now, I would like to thank you, Jordan, for your time today, for your partnership in the last 2 years, and for your kind words and for the insights you've shared with the audience. Thanks very much, and have a good day.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for joining us out there. Bye-bye.